Okay, we're going to unbox and assemble a large wrap beef feeder. This feeder holds about, I believe it's 37 pounds of feed. Comes in a big box. It is 4 inches wider than the medium feeder. You would know I would do it upside down, wouldn't you? Okay. That's how we're going to do it. Lots of styrofoam inner packing. Don't worry too much if the box is bent up. That's kind of the job, for the box to take the abuse instead of the feeder. You can get any little dents in it. Most of the time they can be tapped out with a hammer and a block of wood. If it's something major, we could probably ship the replacement part, but we do not take feeders back for minor damage. That runs everybody's prices up when we do that. When you got a box this big and this heavy, you're expecting a little bit of bends every once in a while. You got some instructions. It's pretty simple. Your counterweights are right here. Treadle bar. Always save your packaging until you get done. If you need to ship something back, on the rare case that it's our fault, then you want that inner packing and put it back in like it was so it's protected. You got your hardware taped inside. Yeah, it's a pain to get off, but it's the only way we found to keep from losing the darn things during shipment. Okay, you notice the door didn't want to close all the way, but that's because it's got the soft close already installed. So, we're going to take our treadle. We're going to take our counterweights. We're going to break into our package of hardware. And we're going to put the counterweights on. Counterweights are real simple. One bolt, one hole. There's a little pin on top that prevents the thing from rotating downward. These are lock nuts. So there's a little plastic retainer in there, and you've got to use a wrench. And just snug it up. Don't break it. Don't break the concrete. You can do it. The power of a bolt is pretty awesome. A screw thread. I've seen people take these lock nuts and run them down till the plastic hits and stop. Well, that doesn't work. You've got to get it snugged down tight. The plastic prevents the lock nut from backing off. Replaces a lock washer. The little pin on top prevents the concrete counterweight from rotating. That way we can only have one hole instead of 2 holes for the bolt. You try to keep things as simple as possible so there's less to break. Now, you're going to have some bolts like this and some washers. Stick it in from the inside. Put another washer on it. You want a plain nut, not a lock nut, but a plain nut. Now those little bitty nuts might be 10 millimeter. I believe the back side, I believe the lock nuts in the back side of the bolts are actually 7/16. I could be wrong. But this little nut for some reason is 10 millimeter. We build these things over in the Philippines at my shop over there, and kind of hard to get the right stuff sometimes. You think a 1/4 inch nut will be the same wrench size as the head of the bolt, but apparently not. Now you want to tighten these down pretty good, because this has got a hole and not rotate on you. If you got these things loose, your treadle will wobble around far more than it needs to. And you can't over tighten them. A normal person couldn't anyway. Now, once you got that on, slip your treadle on. Put a lock pin on there with a little plastic end on it. I'm going to have to hold the inside with a crescent wrench, or if I was prepared and had another 7/16 inch wrench, that would be nice. We're going to tighten this thing up all the way, and then we're going to back it off about 1/10 of a turn. We don't want it so loose that the treadle's flopping around, and we don't want it too tight so that it's binding. The treadle's got to be free to move. Snug it down, hold it the inside with a crescent wrench or another 7/16 inch wrench, that's correct, 7/16, or a socket if you're better prepared. Tighten it up tight, back it off about 1/10 of a, you want it to be able to move. I'm going to put the other side on. It's the same situation. You have the little white retainer inside the nut. Almost anything that happens to one of these things as far as breakage can be repaired. We have lots of videos up on our website showing how to repair things, from fixing a door that's dropped because of a strip screw, or putting a new wire link on to that makes the door open and close. Shows you how to stretch a spring. Okay, now we're going to need our little wire links. Just call me Grace. Okay, on the medium feeder that's got a spring on it, it matters how you put these on. On this style it doesn't, because you got a much different mechanism. I'm going to put the other one in. On the medium you're supposed to have the little wire point pointing out. On this one it doesn't matter so much. Just for funsies, I'll point them in. Now, one of the keys is when you bend these wires up, don't make it too tight. Don't wrap it around. And when you bend this wire down, you want to leave that thing where it can rotate. If you don't allow that wire to rotate, it will start to flex. And when it flexes, you're going to have some, what am I doing here? Okay, I am hanging on these little pop rivets, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bend that out a little bit. There we go. Now, we're still fighting against our soft close, and for that reason we're going to use a spring. You don't have to have two springs, one is plenty. Matter of fact, a lot of times all you'll find in a package is one spring. And here's the old-fashioned way, is to put them up through the top. There's a little gap in the sheet metal that you can very carefully poke the wire through if you need to make a gap. In this particular case, there wasn't much room there. We'll try coming in from the side. Here we go. Another way you can do it is drill you a couple of small holes here, and you can make the holes further up and further back to adjust the length of your spring. Now you got one spring on it, and now the door is overcoming the soft close. Now that spring is a little bit too tight, so what we're going to do We're going to stretch that rascal out. Let me get a pair of pliers. No pliers, but I've got a screwdriver. And it's just as simple as getting a good safe hold on it. A couple pair of pliers is the preferred way to go. And just pull it apart a little bit. Careful you don't jerk that spring into you at a pretty sharp point. If you go a little bit too far, take something like a pair of pliers or a wrench and put you a little kink in the wire, which effectively shortens it. And that's about where you want it. If I put 2 springs on this thing, it would probably be too strong for most chickens, so I'm going to leave the 1 spring off. They usually only come packed with 1 anyway. Now, you know what? We're done. Close the lid. On the back side, I've got a recess. There's a grungy looking block of wood. We cut those things out of pallets. We don't like throwing pallets away into the landfill, so we cut them out of pallets, and they're ugly. They're just a spacer. And that block fits up in here. You basically take that block of wood and screw it to the wall of the post, or nail it, whatever, and then you're going to run some screws in from the side like that, with a couple of screws, and that'll hold you in place. Make sure it's not catching anywhere. I'm going to loosen up these side bolts just a fraction. There we go. Now this particular soft close set is not as nice as the medium size. It's a wholly different kind of animal, and they're just not as robust. So we put 2 of them on there, 1 on each side. They'll last forever, and you can get them off of eBay. Just take a look at the picture and do a search on eBay. Pretty much. Now one thing, when you put this thing, install it, you want it screwed to a wall or post, and you want something under the treadle. Like that doesn't go all the way down. Now a person could rebend these, basically straighten it out and make it longer and make it touch. But the simple way is to put a 1 before or a 2 before underneath there. And it's better if that doesn't get all the way back, it makes a noise. So if you can stop it before it gets all the way back, it'll make training your chickens easier. And that's the large rat-proof chicken feeder assembly. If I wasn't messing with the spring and tape, it would probably be done a little bit quicker than what it took. Thank you very much.